Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Complete or Delete, the series where I will test out SBC and objective cards to see whether they're worth it for you and let you know what you need to do with this card to be successful. Now, if this review helps you out at all, please drop a like down below and of course let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you do want the chance to win copies of FC26, FIFA points and gaming monitors, check out the tweet on screen and follow the instructions over on X. And without further ado, let's get into the review. If you can't afford your favourite players and trading to them just isn't realistic, and of course you don't want to give EA your money, then Sky Coach has you covered. With the most reliable and cheapest coins in FC26, a quick and easy service, using the link down below you'll automatically get 10% off so you can finally buy your favourite players.
Nice.
Now let's talk about the price first of all. This is a 71,000 coin SBC right now on Footbin. Of course that can change, but as it stands, not too pricey. We obviously have Zubimendi, who I am very, very fond of and have completed myself as well. So it's a very good comparison, being they are both very similar roles. The main thing we need to look out for is, are there better midfielders in any leagues? Are there better midfielders in his own league for better cost and of course tradable? In no less than 8 minutes, we have him completed. I'm not gonna lie, to start off, this card looks incredible. You got 79 physical, 77 defending, 83 dribbling, 85 passing, 77 shot, and 81 pace. Now I know we don't have a playstyle plus, but let's be honest, 85 rated, evolutions, that could happen within the month. And looking at Zubimendi, to set the precedent, he also did not have one of those and is incredible. We've got CDM, Cam, and centre mid, so a nice selection of positions, and his base play styles: incisive pass, power shot, precision header, bruiser, and relentless. A very nice set as a base. As for his roles, we've got box crusher and box to box are looking like the most attractive, so we want him as a centre mid or a CDM. And with a very, very solid team around him, we are going to test him one in this box to box role that looks like his better role, and then we will move him into box crusher. I've not tried the role out yet, but he is the perfect trial. Tactics code is there on screen for those of you who want it. I have actually adjusted from the tactics video I did the other day. We are now using Poacher on the left striker. It seems to be a good fit. We're going to be testing this out in Div 6, which seems quite solid right now. I know we could leave him without a chemistry style, but looking at that card, the only thing I'd really want to improve on him is that pace. And if we're giving a passing upgrade, it's going to be as if he has a passing chemistry style. So we are taking that with us into the game. The thing about reviewing Goretzka in this formation is it's very midfield dominant. The midfielders are so important, and that box to box on the side is a big part of, one, the attack, and two, the defense. It also gives me a great chance to test out these box crashers. So off to a lovely start. Got the ball straight away. Let's see how Kimmich is feeling. Very nice there. If you have got a Bundesliga team, I would absolutely recommend him. Goretzka nicely on the ball. Doesn't feel crazy agile. Of course, he's a big guy. I would say he turns like a truck for a start. But let's be honest, we're not using that skill mode on him most of the time. There we go. Off to a lovely start. I don't know how much Goretzka contributed, but it's a good way to start the game. Okay, right, we're evened up very quickly. Milito doing the business very, very quick on us. When I play in this same formation regularly, I'm using Camavinga in that same role. So it's going to be interesting to see how he compares. Camavinga does a lot of the attacking, but is very good at coming back for defense. Has a lot of assists from just outside the box, crossing it in. So let's see how good Goretzka. I mean, that was not bad at all if Haaland had just been a little moved over. Yeah, I mean, I will say that Donnarumma, for the cost, is one of the worst goalkeepers in the game. I use Courtois in my main squad, but for this team, to get Kem, we did need to have that City keeper. Kimmich is there on the side of the box to come in for defence, and I will say he is causing a little bit of a problem here. There we go, in the right place at the right time, not necessarily making the tackle, but making it difficult to progress that attack. Nice. I mean, he's getting caught up a little bit there in tar, literally. Goretzka, make that run, make that run. Lovely. And we might get a Goretzka assist, which would be a good thing for the scorecard if we could just have a little bit more movement. Jesus, this guy's got like a 9 back. Oh, very, very almost. Goretzka coming back to do that work again, and we'll have another one, please. There we go. I will say it was incredible how quickly he began to go back after pressing an attack. He does seem very, very good at making sure he is on both ends of the pitch, which is important. I mean, that is insane. Now, one thing I am incredibly disappointed on, we are not through the first half yet, and Goretzka is already very low in terms of his fitness. So I've moved him into the box crushing position, and let's say if he can have more of an effect on the game from his different role, which seemingly might be the role that he's better at. I didn't really feel a huge change on the game based on his previous role. And you can see there straight away, he is in the midst where we need him. Now, whether it's a good idea to have a box crusher as a lone CDM, I do not know. I think it's probably preferable to have 2 CDMs if you are going down that route. But we're going to give it a go. Of course, have moved Goretzka into the box-to-box. We still have competent midfielders in all other areas. He does seem to be where you want him to be, albeit I have made a mistake there, but that obviously isn't on him. He's back where he needs to be as well and has been in the attack. That does seem like possibly a very, very good role for him. Maybe we got it wrong to start off with. I did say box to box seemed to be the preference. It is his plus, but maybe this is where his true calling lies. Now, we have considerably improved the level of play while moving Goretzka in. Now, is Goretzka the sole purpose for that? It might just be the case. He's already looking at a possible assist in... That was very unlucky. There we go. We have pulled this back from 5-2 to 5-4. And the only change we have made between those scorelines is Goretzka coming in to the box crashing role. It may just be the key to getting the most out of this card. Oh my god, I don't know how we've not got a goal there. Cherokee review would be very high. Now, admittedly, going into further into the second half, it hasn't changed his fitness at all. So he's on 64, which is what we looked at a very long time ago. Moving him away from the midfield or the centre mid roles seems to be where he's absolutely having a much easier time. Let's see where Goretzka is. Goretzka is in that box doing exactly what his role says. He is crashing that box. It's impossible to win a game of FIFA with a team like this. But when your coin balance is low, and so is your bank balance, how can you afford your favourite players? That's where top 1% trading comes in. The #1 premium Discord in FC26, ready to make you millions of coins again, and making your dream team a reality. Hopefully looking for a goal. I mean, it does seem that way, and... it is there. This box crusher's role is... This is one thing I will say about this review. Box to box so far, absolutely not a fan. But box crusher, I am considering having him on the bench in my main team and having that role put on. I mean, Goretzka is in the box, making opportunity for some big passes there. Absolutely way better to have Konate in than Tar. I'm not saying that they are the same price. I think there's like a 20k difference, but you know, it is a thing that to look at, that your main options around Goretzka in the defensive sense are not great. Now, of course, Kimmich is a huge option. If you have them both is CDMs, as I say, in a formation with 2 CDMs, one as deep line playmaker and one as box crusher, you are absolutely in the money. We are very unlucky to concede again there. Now, one thing I will say is my regular matches are not usually this high scoring. However, I have only just moved into this division. I do find that possibly having a singular box crash chart does leave you a lot more open. This has been an incredibly high scoring game, but that isn't necessarily good if you're the losing player. I mean, he has just hit a 10th past me. It is 10-6, an absurd scoreline, which obviously is noted that I usually have a DLP CDM, which probably made a bit of a difference there in my defense. Now, would I play him as a lone box crusher in future? Absolutely not. Would I play him in a pair as a CDM for gauntlet game modes with maybe Reinders, maybe picking up Goretzka again? Absolutely. So we took a loss, and quite a big one. It is the most goals I have conceded in FC26. Of course, we only lost by 4 goals. It was a 10-6. Obviously, don't get me wrong, not over the moon. Goretzka contributing with a goal and looking very good only in the box crusher role. I will say I absolutely despised his box-to-box performance. He ran out of fitness very quickly. He did not perform as well as Camavinga, who is in my regular team, and I absolutely wouldn't try him there again. However, if we were to find a formation in whether I want to go down this route and have 2 cams, 2 strikers and 2 CDMs, whether I want to go down this route with a cam, wingers, strikers, there are a lot of formations where I would be more than happy to have him as a box crusher, sat-align someone with deep line playmaker. I think that absolutely works. However, and I'd say this is a fairly big however, if you are not using him in that way, if he is not a box crusher paired with another CDM, I would not get this card. He plays incredibly in that role and is going to be brilliant in any team as a dual CDM, but cannot do a CDM role as a singular box crusher. It opens you up, as you saw in that game, far too much. First of all, Gabriel, First of all, Gabriel, far better. Eder Militao, far better. Rudiger, far, far better. Looking at other players, Gehi, going through here, even Ake is a better in-game player. Arujo as well. I would also say Konate. Every other defender I have used that is considered a higher level defender is better. Now, obviously, Tar comes in at a measly cost of, from the looks of things, 8,000 coins, based sheerly off of his rating. Even Konate is sitting, surprisingly to me, as I said earlier, at 40k, so far, far more expensive. And these are the players that you can link with Goretzka. I think realistically, Kane is an option, absolutely, if you get his upgraded card, because there is more pace. Kimmich was very solid. Musiala is very solid. Garasai you can use, but you would want a better and faster player with him than Kane. Obviously, you don't want two slow strikers. We do have Gomez, we do have Vola, but it does limit your options. You don't have a ton. There's Diaz there as well, but when it comes down to it, there isn't a huge amount of options, and you realistically only want to waste a few of your players on what is essentially forced links to the Bundesliga. Maybe you go with Chukwueze, and then you also link that up with Kwanzaa, and then you can grab one more player, for example, Cola. Then you're pretty covered. You're not having to play ridiculous amounts, and you've got two cheaper players with him, one of which will come for free in the season pass and one from an SBC. But I would say it is an SBC. I'm going to rate overall a 6.5 out of 10. A very, very good player in one singular role, needing a lot of specific players around him to help him flourish. Now, if you enjoyed this review and you want more, make sure to let me know in the comments. Of course, drop a like down below and subscribe